Good afternoon, friends. It's Jayashrii with the Finding Freedom podcast. I hope that this finds you having a really great day. And let's jump right in to this week's podcast. So this week we'll actually be doing a part 2 to last week, which was based on when to speak up and when to be silent. And within that podcast, I mentioned the phrase, wherever you go, there you are, which happens to be the title of a great book by, I believe it's Jon Kabat-Zinn. So a wonderful soul followed up on that to do a little bit of a deep dive on the phrase, wherever you go, there you are. And they asked, I love this phrase, wherever you go, there you are. Don't run from your problems before facing them. However, when it comes to a relationship that is simply just no longer serving us, whether it be abusive or not, I'm going to run and surround myself with the people who actually allow me to feel like myself and who will be able to help and make an impact on my growth process. How can we differentiate between the two? Running from our problems versus running from people, surroundings that no longer align with who we really are. Thank you for these beautiful insights and this excellent question. It's a really good one. So going back to this fantastic statement, wherever you go, there you are. What this is alluding to is something that I think I've pointed out in most of my podcasts, and that is that rearranging the content of our lives isn't going to give us a different life experience. And that's because the world of form is designed to challenge us, and it is also never going to fulfill us. And that's the lesson, actually, here in this Earth School, that while we honor everything in its various shapes and names and forms, we don't mistake it for the ultimate, which is the vertical dimension of spirituality. Eckhart Tolle refers to the horizontal dimension and the vertical dimension. The horizontal representing the world of form, all of the content of our lives, the names of our titles, of our jobs, our achievements, our histories, our stories, the possessions we have, where we live, our race, our culture, language, thought. This is all of the mind, and it is all of the horizontal dimension. The vertical dimension is that of spirit. It's the depth of the changeless. It's the foundation, hopefully, of our lives. And without it, we lead a very shallow and superficial and unfulfilling life, which is constantly on the wheel of samsara, seeking and searching for that which we actually are. And Eckhart Tolle talks about this a lot, and the fact that the cross, the holy cross, is the symbol for the intersection of the horizontal and the vertical dimensions. So every person in this world bears the cross of suffering, which is inevitable on the horizontal plane. And if our life is exclusively focused on the world of form, we will continually learn or receive the lesson that nothing in that world will fulfill us. There is no person, no relationship, no job, no career, no vacation, no home. Fill in the blank that won't disappoint us. But the good news is, when we're rooted in the foundation of the spiritual, of love, of that which is infinite, never changes. It is who we are, its presence. It's the unknowable mystery, the magic, the essence that pervades everything. When we're rooted in that, when we know ourselves as that, then we don't put all of our eggs in one basket, so to speak, on the level of form, thinking that that will fulfill us, because we're already whole. When we're already whole, and we know the peace that passeth understanding, when we know ourselves, self-realization, the challenges of life will come our way, and they won't disturb us, because we already have everything that we want and need within. We always have, and we always will. And so this means that if we find ourselves in a relationship that isn't healthy, one that is abusive, we can easily walk away. And it also means that when we are rooted in the foundation of love, of the spirit of silence, of stillness, that we have clarity, and we will always have access to right speech, right action, right thought. And it will be so clear when it's time to move on. Now, relationships are the greatest practice, and they are challenging, because everything in the world of form is challenging. It's there as a mirror, because the universe is who we are. We are not separate. Self is other. This does not mean that I'm saying that we should stay in an abusive relationship. No. It's not going to serve us. Of course not. However, when we're coming from presence, we will actually infuse everyone and everything with the magic of presence. It's contagious. And people who aren't ready, for whatever reason, to recognize that within themselves, they won't be able to handle it, and they will probably walk away. Now, another great example that my teacher has used, which I think is excellent, is that of a recovering alcoholic. It wouldn't be wise for the recovering alcoholic to spend time in bars or to start a business selling alcohol. And this is the same thing, that we understand our limitations, and there are people who may wish to continue a lifestyle that we've let go of, or maybe we've never been interested in. So if we have a friend or a partner who is still interested in partying, who looks down on the fact that we meditate, or who maybe follows a different lifestyle of any variety than we do, and dissuades us from our excellent high vibe habits that serve us so well, then again, maybe it's time to part ways. So these are a few examples, and each of us has the capacity to determine these for themselves, for ourselves. We are each adequate to our life experience. And if we're taking excellent care of our body, our temple, getting enough sleep, daily movement, time in nature, daily meditation, a primarily plant-based diet, these are all crucial in order for us to have clarity and understand the truth of a situation. It'll give us the strength to see all triggers as an opportunity to uncover our own blockages and look within, so that we always bring everything in. We don't point the finger. We always bring everything internally. So anytime that we're identified with ego, we can know that we're identified with ego if we're coming from a point of view of something is wrong and there's not enough, whether it's about ourselves or others or the world. And this is a red flag to step out of that story and come back to our true nature. It works also, the same is true when it's looking at how others are speaking to us or the world is speaking to us. If the world or others are coming from a place of something is wrong, there's not enough, and it's also probably your fault, that's ego. You just ignore it. Ignore it. So whether that's coming from an internal source inside the head or outside, we can know that that does not serve us and it holds nothing of value for us. So this is a great barometer for differentiating between the truth and ego. And it will help us also to know whether we're running from our problems or running from people or surroundings that don't align with us. That which align with us is coming from compassion, love, patience, empathy, a lot of listening, caring, respect, dignity, depth, no blaming. And this will be in a relationship that is healthy, happening 80 or 70% of the time. The other 20 to 30% of the time, anyone is going to be identified with ego once in a while and make a misstep, be unskillful. So obviously we have to give room for the human condition, our humanity. None of us are perfect. So I hope that this is helpful, and I'd love to know what your thoughts are and your experience and wisdom are on this subject. And if you have a question or a topic for another podcast, please share that in the comments below as well. Please feel free to share this with a friend, give it a thumbs up, and thank you so much for subscribing. As always, I send you love, light, and presence. Namaskar.